I firmly believe that a .22 long rifle pistol is one of the best firearms for gun owners, and it's even better if you have one of these. What's up, Squad Squad, and welcome to Slav Guns. Back in 2008 or so, when I purchased my first handgun, I knew I wanted a .22 long rifle, and there were three main choices: the Ruger's Mark II and III, the Browning Buckmark, and the Smith & Wesson .22A. The Ruger Mark II and III was always accurate, but it suffered one major drawback. It was a pain in the butt to take apart and clean, and why many new shooters avoided it. The Browning Buckmark, it was quite a bit more expensive, but it field stripped by taking out a bolt. The Smith & Wesson .22A was the least pricey, and it was the easiest to take apart with a simple push of a button, and that's why I chose it. All of that changed with the introduction of the Ruger Mark IV series of pistols, including this guy, the Ruger Mark IV 2245 Lite. And while I believe that the Ruger Wrangler is the ideal first handgun, this would be a close, strong second. So let's take a look at the Mark IV 2245 Lite and its features and what makes it an ideal all-around rimfire handgun. Between all of the Mark IV pistols, the major innovation is the one-button takedown. Make sure that the safety is on, then push the button and it lifts up and out of the way. At this point, you can take out the bolt and do anything that's required for cleaning or whatever else you need to do. To put it back, simply drop it in. This hooks on the front, depress the button, and you're back and you're good to go. Done. The gun's major controls are in places you expect them to be. The magazine release is much in the same place as you'd find in the 1911. Saying magazines drop free would be an understatement, as they're under spring tension. So, when you drop them, they really come flying out. What this means, however, is that when you're putting the magazine in, you gotta make sure that it's seated all the way out, otherwise it's not gonna lock in place. To release the slide or release the bolt, you have a nicely sized release at the top of the grip panel. And even with my medium-sized hands, I had no issues manipulating it, barely changing my grip on the gun. Of course, you can also release the bolt by pulling back on the release on the back of the gun. Now, there are also thumb cutouts here at the back of the receiver, but more on this later. Lastly, the gun comes with an ambidextrous safety that you can remove on the right side if that's not something that you want. The safety here pivots on the front rather than on the back, like you would find in a 1911 or a CZ, and you can see the position by either the white or the red mark that's visible depending on the safety's position. Once again, white is safe or surrender, and the red is ready to fire. My only two criticisms of the gun are the safety and the bolt release here, so make sure to watch my first impression segment later on in the video. The 2245 line replaces the metal grip frame with a polymer precision molded one. The frame comes with these very nice rubbery grips, and they're 1911 style, and along with the front and rear checkering, you have a very nice grip on the gun. You can also use other 1911 style grips, but you might have to modify them a bit to fit. The model that I have here is a 2245 Lite, or the even lighter version of the light one. The 2245 Lite variant replaces the upper receiver with this ventilated aerospace grade aluminum receiver and a lighter stainless steel cold hammer forged barrel. As a result, the gun weighs just 25 ounces without the suppressor. There are currently 5 various 22-45 models and 3 additional distributor-exclusive variants. The major differences in the models are the upper receiver colors, the ventilation hole designs, the accent colors, and whether or not they come with a fretted barrel or not, depending on if you're living in a social estate. One of the variants replaces the rubber grips with nice wooden ones. I personally like this guy with the black and the gold accents, and I like the more horizontal holes, as it matches my Zevo Z9 in both color and design. If you're interested in this one, it's model number 43927. The 22-45 Lite also comes with fairly nice sights, including a black front blade and rear adjustable sights, which are adjustable for both windage and elevation without having to drift them in place. The upper is also complete with this factory-installed Picatinny rail, which will help you easily mount optics such as red dots or scopes. This variant also has a 1/2x28 fretted barrel that will easily let you mount the suppressor or other muzzle devices. And no, I don't know of any sane reason why you'd want to put a muzzle brake or a compensator on a 22. It's stupid. The one note I would make here is this. Because the 22-45 Lite is so light, I would recommend a lighter weight suppressor, such as this guy, the Q Erector. The reason why is if the suppressor is heavier, it'll throw off the balance of the gun. So now that we got the suppressor on here, let's take a look at how it shoots. All right. Oh, shit. Oh. This is the most uncomfortable squat I've been in because it's off balance. I'm sorry, Mr. Cooler. The gun comes with 2 magazines and there is an easy load button on the side. You can also get those plastic tools that go around that'll help you push the follower down even further. So now that we got the suppressor on here and we got a couple of mags loaded, let's take a look. And definitely no hearing protection required on here. Safety. Stupid fun. Really a fan of the magazine release on here. Hey, we hit the bowling pin. Nice. So let's take a look at how it shoots without the suppressor. Once you let it cool down.
This was one of the violence.
Very cool. So, my first impressions. This is a stupid fun gun that deserves to be in every gun safe. Wait, I think I said this before. Oh yeah, in the video on the Ruger Wrangler. Okay, let me try this again. This is a stupid fun gun that deserves to be in every gun safe if you have the extra funds for another rimfire pistol, or you're looking for one all-around 22 rimfire pistol. The gun is accurate and I had no issues hitting steel out at 50 yards or so. I'm sure it'll be a lot easier with the red dot or an optic too. The trigger is nice and clean, albeit a little bit on the heavy side, but That is, if you're used to shooting a nice 3-pound competition trigger out of a 1911 or a CZ. For new gun owners and non-gun snobs, this trigger is really good. And if you do want to upgrade it, there are plenty of aftermarket triggers available. Once again, I really appreciate that the face of the gun is fairly clean. You have the Ruger Mark IV 22 long rifle, Prescott, Arizona on one side, and you have 2245 on the frame, light, and the serial number on the other side of the receiver. The "don't be an idiot, read the instruction manual," the message is on the bottom of the gun right here on the upper receiver. I also really like that the thread protector for the gun is a nice chunk of metal and not some lighter weight material. It's also fairly thick, so you have a good amount of material to grab onto, and it is textured here as well. The only two issues I have with this gun is this. First, it's going to be the safety. If you're used to shooting 1911s, you're likely going to have a thumbs forward grip and you're riding the safety fairly high. Either with your right hand, with your right thumb up if you're righty, or the opposite if you're lefty. The difference is the safety here pivots on the front rather than the back, and the safety is a little bit smaller, so it was a little bit uncomfortable trying to do a thumbs forward grip. The challenge here is this: with a regular thumbs forward grip without riding the safety, you're likely to nudge the safety up while you're shooting it, and it happened both for me and another friend when we were shooting it last time around. So it may or may not be an issue for you. So it's something to keep in mind out. I suppose a solution to this would be an oversized thumb safety that you can more easily ride, such as in the 1911, or have the safety take a bit more force to manipulate it. The way it is right now, it takes more force to get the safety down from fire to safe than it is the other way from safe to fire. The only other issue I had, or something that I would urge you about, is with the bolt release here on the back of the gun. Ordinarily, I release the slide rather than using the slide release button. With this gun, the bolt is released and it returns fairly quick, and you can kind of see what just happened here. Depending on the way you grip the release, it's very easy to pinch your thumbs, well, your thumb and your finger right here between the release and the back of the gun. So if you have new gun owners, if you have women or children shooting, or perhaps you're just a man with very soft hands, something to be keeping an eye out for. As such, I don't know if anything can be done about it, so I'd recommend that you simply use the bolt release and instruct others to do the same. Bottom line, if you want a great all-around 22 long rifle pistol, it would be hard to go wrong with any of the Ruger Mark IV pistols. They have now solved a major criticism with the one-button easy takedown. Starting with an MSRP of around $410 and a street price of about $350, the Mark IV pistol is not the cheapest, but it's certainly one of the best. If you can spend just a little bit more, I would highly recommend the 2245 Light. It is lightweight, and honestly, weight doesn't really matter for shooting 22, so get as light of a gun as you can. It comes with great grips, comes with good sights, an optical rail, and can be threaded from the factory. And of course, it looks amazing. Unlike in the past, the gun comes with a terrific plastic case, and yes, I'm one of those guys that cares about the packaging, and it helps complete the upmarket feel of this gun. So, whether you're looking for an all-around 22 pistol or a great suppressor host, it's tough to go wrong with the Ruger Mark IV 2245 Light. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Until our next video, keep on squatting, and I'll see you next time. Done!
CCI, Suppressor 22, Ruger Mark IV, Q Erector. Winchester High Velocity 22.
Okay, this is loud.
Federal 22.
Okay. So here we are at the range and we're having a pissy party about what ammo sounds the quietest and what the velocities are. So I got my chronograph out and we're going to test out two different bulk boxes, the Winchester Bulk Box 22, the Federal Bulk Box 22, and this stuff, which is the CCI Subsonic 22. All right. Okay. 846, 855, 862, 838, and 868. Okay. From the gun, it sounds so much quieter than.
It also sounds quieter back here.
Okay. All right. So now we have the first 5 rounds are going to be the Federal, and then the next 5 rounds are going to be the Winchester.
High velocity.
Yeah, that stuff. So the Federal is rated at 1260 and the other one's 1280. Okay. 1077. 1049. 1020. So it's barely 1016. So it's still subsonic. 1008. 1042. Wait, how many rounds was that? Okay, so this is already the Winchester. 1120. Yeah, the Winchester is really hot. 1116. 1101. Hey, bunker boy. I don't think you have a place to squat down on here. I think this will work. All right. Woo!
Wait, you're gonna squat on my beer?
PG-13. Oh boy.
What's that not?
All right, I'm starting to feel it in my legs. This cooler is a little wobbly.